Well, first up, let's tell you how you've always been told that your hard-earned money that you pay as taxes are being used for development and to empower the weaker sections of the society. But what if we told you that your money was actually being used only to empower certain politicians and not those who are really deserving government aid? Well, as per the Enforcement Directorate's investigation, that's exactly what seems to have happened across in Karnataka. These are the allegations which have been made as per the statements of the Enforcement Directorate's prosecution complaint, which seems to have really now set the hornet's nest. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate has been probing the alleged irregularities in Karnataka's Valmiki Development Corporation. The former Karnataka Minister B. Nagendra was arrested in the same case. What are the allegations? Let's tell you. The first allegation, we are going to start right from the beginning, are that of the proceeds of crime being used for the electoral expenditure. And this is a huge claim which has been made by the ED, that there were proceeds of crime being used in the Lok Sabha polls. The second allegation is that the funds were used in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections expenditure. Huge allegation they made against the Congress government. The third allegation that is coming in by the Enforcement Directorate, as we are getting you the statements, are coming in, is that of a sum of 6.1 crore rupees were used for the purpose of the elections by allegedly the Congress party in the 2024. The fourth allegation is voters were paid to vote for the Congress candidate as well, E Tukaram. That this is a huge charge, completely undermines the entire electoral process if voters are being bribed, and this is one such allegation which has been made. It also has alleged that an amount of 200 rupees was distributed to each voter who voted for this Congress candidate. Now, these, remember, are the allegations that the ED has leveled on the Congress. In fact, it also has said that 10,000 rupees distributed amongst the Congress workers in each booth as well, completely undermining the entire process. In fact, these allegations have gotten very serious because now we are learning that the funds that were meant for the empowerment of these ST communities were actually being used by the Congress for election expenditure. Times Now has managed to access the details of the ED prosecution complaint, which mentions the funds to the tune, as we are just showing you, of 84 crore rupees being transferred from the corporation's account to various other accounts by using the checkbook. In fact, let me go across to our senior editor, Bhavtosh, as well as Deepak Bopanna, who's joining us from Bengaluru. Bhavtosh, I'm going to come to you first. Can you quickly break it down? What are the main allegations? How allegedly funds which were being collected as taxes were used to garner votes for the Congress?
Well, it's a very comprehensive charge sheet that Enforcement Directorate has filed after B. Nagendra was arrested and others were also taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, this case was taken by ED after there were FIRs that were filed by the Karnataka Police SIT as well as by the FIR that was taken over by the CBI. Now, in the prosecution complaint, what the Enforcement Directorate has said that 15 crore rupees was distributed to people said to be very close to B. Nagendra, and this money was then, in fact, 200 rupees was given to 7.5 lakh voters in 4 Lok Sabha constituency, which comes under Bellary in Bellary region. Now, that is a very big allegation that has been leveled by the Enforcement Directorate. It's the part of prosecution complaint that was filed last month in a Bengaluru court. Cognizance of this prosecution complaint has been taken. But more importantly, they have also said that the polling booth agents were also given 10,000 rupees. Now, this entire case, Meghna, revolves around the misappropriation of financial embezzlement of around 90 crore rupees. That happened between March and May, and then subsequently FIRs were filed. One FIR pertains to death by suicide of a clerk in the Karnataka ST Development Corporation, and then subsequently this controversy broke out. Now, there are allegations that B. Nagendra had also used money for personal expenditure, but the serious charge, what the Enforcement Directorate has said, is that money actually was used by B. Nagendra, who is a senior Congress leader, to pay voters up to 200 rupees. Each voter was given 200 rupees, and then polling booth agents were given 10,000 rupees. Now, one has to wait and see what would be the whether ED in fact approaches Election Commission of India, what would be the reaction of political parties. But a very serious charge has been leveled by the Enforcement Directorate in the prosecution complaint that was filed last month.
come back to you to understand what could the Election Commission do in a situation such as this. But till then, let me go across to Deepak. Deepak, we already know politically this is going to be a hot potato for the Congress party to explain. Today, K.C. Venugopal is also going to be meeting Siddaramaiah as well as D.K. Shivakumar. What do we expect Congress to do now?
This case, of course, has been quite big in the state of Karnataka. Even as, the information about the scam broke out, we saw an SIT being formed by the state government. The BJP continued to protest, saying that the SIT cannot really probably do justice here, considering a state minister was involved. Eventually, with the demand growing for Nagendra's resignation, he did resign. The ED came in, arrested him. Right now, various statements, of course, that has been made a part of this charge sheet revealed some of these startling details. Bhaptos, of course, was pointing out one such statement of Vijay Kumar, one of the help on close aid of Nagendra, who's speaking about this money being diverted for the sake of elections. This is something that they had mentioned in their remand note as well when they're taken Nagendra into custody, the Enforcement Directorate later in the FIR, and consequently they have of course been maintaining that the money was being diverted for the sake of the Lok Sabha elections. Right now this statement as well speaking about the same. As far as the congressman questioned about this, they continue to maintain that these are baseless allegations being leveled. The entire idea behind the Enforcement Directorate even coming into the picture was to, make this political more than anything else, because the SIT had recovered most of the money which was embezzled, and the Enforcement Directorate came in only to play politics is the charge that's coming from the Congress. The BJP continues to maintain that if it was not for the Enforcement Directorate, the minister would not even have been touched by the state government, who is solely responsible for this embezzlement. And the money has been routed for the sake of Lok Sabha elections. And the BJP party president has also put out a social media post where he says that similar attempts could be made in the Maharashtra and the Jharkhand elections as well. So while we are looking at, on one hand, the investigation going on by the ED, very recently Nagendra, of course, was granted bail as well. But more importantly, whether the Enforcement Directorate will be able to back these sort of statements with any sort of documentary evidence, that is going to be crucial, because when the bail hearing of Mr. Nagendra happened, this was something that the judge observed as far as Enforcement Directorate not having anything concrete against Nagendra, and that's the reason he actually made bail towards the end. So for the Enforcement Directorate, just to rely on statements, of course, will not get them a long way in terms of this playing out in court. We'll have to see with the investigation going on whether they'll be able to back these aspects with solid documentary and other forms of evidence as well.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us, Deepak. You're absolutely right about the politics, at least, which has already started breaking out. In fact, do stay on with us, Deepak, as well as Bhaptos. Let's tell our viewers how the Congress has now responded to the Enforcement Directorate's action. In fact, it has said that ED has filed what it calls a political charge sheet. Watch this.
Finally, in the Enforcement Directorate investigation in the Valmiki board scam, the charge sheet has been filed. We have access to the charge sheet, where one of the statements of a person who's close to Mr. Nagendra has here said in his statement that money was moved from on the behest of Nagendra's instructions for the sake of Bellary elections to Mr. Tukaram.
So the charge sheet is filed by the ED, right? Enforcement Directorate. Today, in today's political situation, does ED have any credibility? ED is a political tool of the government. They are trying here to fix it. So it's a fact of the matter that scam took place. And the fact of the matter is money was diverted to unauthorized accounts. Who recovered this money? It is the state SIT which recovered the money. It was the duty of the ED to recover. They have not recovered the money. We have recovered the money. We have arrested all the accused. What have they done? They have not done anything. They have created a political charge sheet. See, they are here to play politics. ED has no, legitimacy today. People have lost their faith in the institution. It has become a political arm. They are just creating political charge sheets. We have arrested the accused. We have recovered the money. We'll prosecute them. Everything we are doing. And they are doing all this political drama. Let them do. We, as a responsible state government, we have ensured that this scam is unearthed. This scam, the money is recovered. The accused are sent to jail. And we'll ensure that no other scam of this type takes place. So we have taken all the, steps to protect the public interest and public money.
Well, in fact, fact, let me go across to Bhavtosh. Bhavtosh, you just heard the Congress coming out and saying that this is a political charge sheet, that there is no evidence. Whoever was guilty has already been arrested. They've been punished and SIT is doing its job. But you must tell us, ED having made such sensational charges, one of the charges amongst them is that they fear, in fact, this is the BJP making a charge based on what the ED has said in its charge sheet, that the BJP now fears that there may be misuse of money power by the Congress party in the upcoming polls in Maharashtra as well as Jharkhand. Huge charge being levelled politically as well from the BJP. What has the ED based its entire charge sheet on? Does it have enough money trail to sustain this trial?
Meghna, as far as this particular case is concerned, ED had in fact taken the cognizance of the FIRs that were earlier filed by the Karnataka police, as well as the FIR that was taken over by the CBI, or the complaint that was filed by the public sector bank, of which led to CBI filing an FIR. Now, importantly, what Enforcement Directorate has mentioned in its charge sheet, which Times Now has access, is a very important thing, that there were several iPhones that were allegedly or purportedly destroyed by the former minister, and then one of the accused mobile phone led to recovery of some images. Now, these images were of currency notes that were seized in the investigation. Now, these currency notes were the currency notes that were given to the voters. Now, this clearly established that money was given to the voters. Now, this is a very serious charge, that during the election process, when the voting was to happen in Karnataka in Lok Sabha election, money was being paid to the voters. Now, this is the allegation of the Enforcement Directorate, so we have to in fact see whether this allegation stands in the court of law. But Enforcement Directorate has said that money was paid to the voters,
right.
And we all know that in Ballari, Congress candidate managed to win one of the seats. Now, this is what ED is saying, so one has to wait and see what will happen in the trial.
Well, in fact, Bhavtosh, Deepak, do stay on with us. In fact, Shehzad Poonawala is joining us, BJP's national spokesperson. Shehzad, ED's leveled some very serious charges, but the Congress says that this is a political charge sheet. What do you make of that?
First of all, let me congratulate your reporter Bhavtosh, who is always fast in breaking these updates on the ED charge sheets, etc. And today, one thing is very clear, Meghna, that those who do Dalit, actually they only care about Dal Hit. And even the funds of Dalit and tribals is not spared from Congress's Lutera Panja. The Lutera Panja stole 14,000 crores from SC/ST funds. The Lutera Panja has stolen money from the Valmiki fund. They have accepted that this scam has taken place, and it was used, you know, for what? For liquor, Lamborghini, and for election bribery. It is an election offense. Also, it is an offense against the Dalit Samaj. Now, today my question is that will Rahul Gandhi open his mouth? He says, "Jitni abadi utna haq, Daliton ko adhikar do, hum Dalit को हलवा खिलाना चाहते." अरे भाई, हलवा बाद में खिलाना, उनका अधिकार तो पहले हो। तेलंगाना में अधिकार मारा, कर्नाटका में अधिकार मारा, हिमाचल में अधिकार मारा. Today Rahul Gandhi must explain to us, because all this money which is looted, whether it's Muda scam, whether it's the Valmiki scam, all of this goes to the Central High Command of Congress. So they have to explain that have they pocketed the money meant for Dalits.
But Shehzad, if it's all going to the Central High Command, there are critical polls around the corner as well in Maharashtra as well as Jharkhand. There are 9 UP by polls as well around the corner. What will the BJP do about it? Will you go and knock on the EC's door?
Look, one fight is the legal fight, which the ED and the agencies will obviously fight. It will be fought in the court of law. The second is the political fight. And time and again, we have been saying that those who speak about Arakshan khatam ho jayega, Arakshan khatam ho jayega, in reality, look at that double face. Rahul Gandhi speaks about ending Arakshan. He does not give chance to Kumari Shelja, and then the Dalit funds are usurped. And there is a pattern. Meghna, please see your following reports in Times Now. The report in Telangana, the report in Karnataka, the report in other places where Congress is in power. They have diverted SC/ST funds time and again. And here is a clear-cut case of looting the tribal funds. And therefore, Meghna, I just say one thing, that Rahul Gandhi, if he clearly cares about Dalits, he must come out and tell us that why this fund was being used by Congress party for election purposes.
So much, Shehzad, for joining us. So you just heard the BJP coming out and saying that the Congress, which says that they are going to be the crusaders for Dalit rights, they are the ones who are misappropriating funds which are meant for Dalits and using it to garner votes for their own. In fact, there are more reactions of the BJP coming in. Listen in to what the BJP has said, citing ED's charge sheet.
ED has clearly stated today that the Valmiki Development Board's funds have been misutilized and misused both in Ballari and Raichur elections. Nagendra is a mastermind of it and he need to be arrested again. ED's statements and ED's charge sheet clearly represents the kind of the malpractices which Karnataka's Congress government is being indulged in, and Siddaramaya's government should be held responsible for it. Yesterday's Sandur elections is also announced, but Tukaram, will he be continuing as an MP? The kind of the fraudulent schemes what Congress government is doing in Karnataka has to be seen by the people of Karnataka.
So, of course, very tough questions being asked by the BJP based on the Enforcement Directorate's charge sheet, which Bhavtosh has managed to access for us. Thank you so much, Bhavtosh, as well as Deepak. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on both the probe as well as the politics over the Valmiki scam. Well, on that note, a short break. Don't go anywhere.